The tip of the day for comic book creator crowdfunders and for all crowdfunders is don't skimp on visuals because Kickstarter is a visual platform. This is so important. A couple of main reasons why your visuals are so important is that first impressions matter and they happen within seconds. There's studies that show that it takes people less than zero point 0.2 seconds before their first impression forms of a website or an online sales page. And so your Kickstarter page is no different than that. So you want to make a great first impression with the best visuals that you possibly can put in front of your backers. You want your project to look as good or better than the book that you are making. For many potential backers, the first and only thing that they will see is the visuals that you put in front of them. And it's those visuals that will make them determine whether or not they want to do any further investigation. It's important to understand that as human beings, our brain processes images much faster than text. I mean, you can imagine evolution wise, we needed to be able to see things coming coming at us to stay safe, to stay sane. And we needed to be able to visually make visual distinctions to survive. Babies, they think visually way before they're able to, connect letter symbols and things like that. And so great, like leaning in with with great graphics and strong visuals up and down your Kickstarter project, it makes a big impact. And then the other thing that is important to understand is backers are going to judge your book based on the presentation of your crowdfunding page. If your campaign looks professional, they're going to assume the book is professional. If the campaign looks sloppy or rushed or inconsistent, or you're using a dozen different fonts, they're going to question whether or not that same thing will apply to the comic itself. And there's a saying, how you do one thing is assumed how you'll do all things. And so you want to come across as someone that is putting on a professional front with your Kickstarter page so that that translates to the books that you are launching. So, some of the things that I want to just call out as super important, especially for Kickstarter creators, is to make sure that you lead with a strong project image and take the time to make sure that you're crafting that image for Kickstarter. This was a project we talked to Jesse Judy yesterday on Ashes of Eden, and really captivating, great project image that he's using that is widescreen image. It's got a main character that's big and bold. It is compelling. The visuals, the color palette, like everything about this image is something that is going to stop us in our tracks and hopefully encourage people to click on it. I've given a lot of feedback lately to creators that are still sort of taking badly cropped versions of their covers that still include logo elements or other things that are even partially cropped out. That's not showing an attention to detail that most people want to see. I've even talked to creators that will commission their artists to do a specific image just for the Kickstarter page itself because they really wanted to lean in and make the perfect image for this aspect ratio. And that is well worth doing. Another thing that I encourage creators to do as much as possible when they can, if they can, is to incorporate 3D mock-ups of your books. It is very important and very powerful to let your backers or your prospective backers imagine what the book that they're hoping to get into their hands is actually going to look like, feel like, and to be able to visualize that. And when you use good 3D mock-ups, whether these be Photoshop templates or online tools like e-cover makers and mock-up tools, I've got a bunch that I use. It really helps them envision these books on their shelves before they get them in their hands. In most cases, all you need is a finished cover to make these mock-ups, and the technology will do the rest of the work. Whether that's you making these yourself using an online tool, or you hiring a professional designer to do it, don't skimp on this. 3D mock-ups go a long way. I strongly encourage you to incorporate these throughout your campaigns. Also, I want to give a shout out to Charlie Stickney because Charlie is an excellent creator that shows the power of including lots of sequential preview pages. Don't hide the ball for your backers. Be proud of your art, be proud of your comic, and show it off. Charlie's popular series, he launched it with a nice, big, bold 15-page preview to really show that he had nothing to hide and in fact wanted you to get a great look at the book that he was bringing to the table. That's another great example there. Another thing that you can do to make visually compelling pages is to lean in to brand headers. One of the ways that you can customize your Kickstarter page and make it feel on brand is by doing custom headers to break up the text and then the sections of your project page. You can see I'm showing off some brand headers. These were designed by Brant Fowler for Kevin Joseph's Tart series. He has cupcake as a brand header symbol. This is for the series Dig. That's a brand header that I did. And so I sort of used a on-brand font and then the shovels, which is a recurring icon that shows up in that series as well. Again, these little elements really will make your page stand out and feel professional and feel cohesive. Another thing that's important, because for comics especially, the main thing that we're selling are comics and usually variant covers of comics. So the main item is the comic itself, and many creators, and especially creators that have the bigger campaigns, will offer different versions of the same comic and variant covers because that's the main thing people are going to be choosing from. You want to show those covers big, bold, beautiful on your Kickstarter page. Again, backers should not have to go hunting for their covers. There should be a whole section dedicated to your covers, and you should show that art nice and bold. I still, even to this day, will jump on a Kickstarter page for a comic book and notice that they didn't show any covers for the comic. I'm going to judge this book by its cover, and I'm certainly going to judge this book if it's launching without one. Okay, so include a cover gallery, show them nice and big on your page. The last tip that I want to share here, because some of you are saying, Tyler, I'm a writer maybe, or I'm just, pulling together the details here, but I am not an artist. I can't draw stick figures. I don't have a design sense. I'm colorblind. I don't have color theory. I don't know any of this stuff. That's awesome. That's fine. That doesn't mean you can't do this. What you should do then is to spend a little bit of money and hire a crowdfunding page design pro. Two resources that I can recommend is my who is a jack of all trades when it comes to putting together comics and comics related stuff. And he can easily design a great looking page for you like he did for Kevin Joseph and he's done for many others. Or I'd point you over to the folks at Metal Ninja Studios who have Kickstarter page design along with all the other things that they offer for creators that need some artistic and design help to get their book out into the world. All right. So again, this new planner will hopefully help you make sure that you're crossing your T's, dotting your I's, and including the best images that you possibly can with our checklists. And we have lists for all the visual key elements that are included and needed to make an attractive page. We'll make sure that you don't forget to include them on your Kickstarter page, and we'll hopefully help you be really proud and confident of the page when you launch. In short, your crowdfunding page is a salesman working for you 24/7 to pitch your book. So you want to make sure that salesman is as dressed up for success as possible because your backers are going to notice when you take the time to put great visuals front and center on your launch, and they're going to judge your book all the better for it.
Prepare to launch in 3,